four horsemen of the apocalypse. They are galloping right now on the planet.
Then I stood on the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his horns 10 crowns, and on his heads a blasphemous name. Now the beast which I saw was like a leopard. His feet were like the feet of a bear, and his mouth like the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave him his power, his throne, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world marveled and followed the beast. So they worshipped the dragon who gave authority to the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, "Who is like the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" And he was given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and he was given authority to continue for 42 months. Then he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and those who dwell in heaven. It was granted to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And authority was given him over every tribe, tongue, and nation. All who dwell on the earth will worship him, whose names have not been written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If anyone has an ear, let him hear.
It should put us right about on the 5th seal.
John Holland. You're John Holland? You know, the beard was giving me a little... You used to weigh 350 pounds. The Reverend John Holland! Tires, huh? You know, you used to preach to thousands of people in your church every Sunday. On TV. You had a worldwide audience. Well, how the mighty have fallen. You know, I seem to remember something called the rapture. So, Reverend, what about that? Where's the rapture now?
The word rapture isn't even in the Bible. It's actually called the gathering. And I weigh 330 pounds, thank you very much. It's called the tribulation diet. I don't recommend it. Anyway, I did sell tires. That was a long time ago. I just changed what I was selling.
What? False dreams? Hopes? Religion? You know, it might have been a good idea to let us all in on that fact. You could have saved us a lot of grief! Steve! Don't go! Why? It's not safe! No, I mean, why did you lie to everybody? I mean, I guess I should have known. Now that I think about it, it all sounds just a little too good to be true, doesn't it? Raptured out first, then there's 7 years of tribulation, and then a second coming. It don't add up, does it, preacher? So when will it happen? Any more lies you want to tell me before I go? You don't know. You don't know what it's like to have a mother stare you in the face and tell you that she has to take the mark just to feed her kids. And that if that's what it takes to feed her children, that she could never serve a God like that. You don't know. You can't judge me. It looks like everybody got left behind, preacher.
Syria has faded from the headlines. Pretty incredible when you consider Syria just experienced what might be its bloodiest week of fighting since the civil war began 3 years ago.
Morning's headlines. USA Today says Russian bombers increased flights around American airspace. A U.S. Air Command official acknowledges Russian strategic bombers and other military aircraft entered air defense zones 16 times in the last 10 days. Fighter jets scrambled several times. The spike in activity comes amid the crumbling relations between Russia and the West over Ukraine.
Centers for Disease Control tonight elevated the Ebola virus to level 1 status, and here's what that means. It's their highest level of mobilization reserved for their largest scale response, requiring an agency-wide effort because the outbreak is now officially out of control, and this is a major escalation and a big measure of the fear of it spreading around the world.
In Liberia, contaminated bodies are being dumped in the street.
It's out of control in the West African countries.
Now to the deadly Ebola outbreak and the concerns around the globe. The World Health Organization this morning declared an international public health emergency. It says countries simply cannot control the spread.
This outbreak is the largest ever.
I do think Ebola will come to America. That's not a question of if, it's just when.
And turning now to health news that could have a big impact on your life and your family.
Researchers with a biomedical technology company and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, are currently testing a contraceptive with wireless capabilities. It is a microchip that is implanted under the skin and can deliver tiny amounts of hormone like a birth control pill. Some experts point out that women already have implantable birth control options like the IUD, but many still choose the pill. Researchers plan to test this technology in women in 2016. The device would cost around $1,000. We'll have more on this story ahead today on Local 12 News at 5:30.
Open up your mailbox someday soon and you find a new credit card marked with a microchip. Credit card companies are making the move to protect all of us from hackers.
Well, credit card companies say that a microchip on your card is a better way to store your information and to keep you safe. A lot of these big name retailers are switching over to the microchip scanners.
You say you think most big stores are accepting the chip technology, but not all yet?
Well, I think they're switching over to it. I think it's going to be a process. I read something earlier tonight that said that credit card companies are telling stores to really get ready for this by the fall of 2015.
Knew it's
I used to say to him, what's the point of all this? You have all the money in the world you need. You have all the power you need. What's the point? You know, what's the end goal? And he said the end goal is to get everybody chipped, to control the whole society, to have the bankers, the elite people, you know, the bankers and some governor controlling the world.
Also an unseen war brewing against freedom of religion. Particularly Christians are being burned alive, beheaded, crucified, and tortured to death. Some are in prison, but most people aren't even aware of it.
19-year-old Valerie Dodds is a nude model. She has her own website. And recently, while she was in Nebraska, she decided to make a visit to the Catholic high school that she went to. So apparently she's been getting a lot of criticism from her peers and from former teachers because now she does basically online porn. And so she broke into the school. She was trespassing, obviously. She was completely nude, and she proceeded to masturbate with a crucifix.
A Duck Dynasty star suspended indefinitely from the hit show after making some controversial comments during a magazine interview. Phil Robertson says, like many devout Christians, he thinks that homosexuality is a sin.
Wedding bells will ring on top of this float on New Year's Day.
Gay men and lesbians can now legally get married in the state of California.
For several nights this week, this was Ferguson, Missouri. Tanks, combat gear, assault rifles. It looked like a military operation.
You must disperse immediately.
And that's because police departments in the St. Louis area, like those across the country, are arming their officers with equipment once on the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan. In the past year, the Department of Defense has given local law enforcement over 600 MRAPs. Local police also get federal grant money to buy the military-style equipment. One recent study found the federal government has doled out more than $34 billion to local police departments since the September 11th terrorist attacks. But critics say local police aren't the military, that some of the equipment and tactics should not be routinely used against American citizens.
Tens of thousands of Christians are now fleeing for their lives.
That town now under attack by ISIS, all the Christians from it pouring out of there, moving towards the Kurdish area, looking for sanctuary there, and the Christians from that town are being forced to flee.
This is truly a living nightmare that's not going away. A Christian Holocaust is in our midst.
Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent men, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent men, who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. I said unto the Lord, Thou art my God. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Lord. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation, Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Lord, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that the Lord will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence.